but I can't do it myself. Exactly right. It's exactly right. You're preaching to the choir, brother.
Uh-huh.
All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Tim from Webster, New York. Hiya, Tim. What's up?
Yeah, hi, guys. I was hoping you could comment on, you guys were talking about the new Kodak currency a week or two ago.
Yeah.
And I really am kind of green when it comes to the cryptocurrency stuff, but all I want to know is just all three of your opinions and Steve's opinion when he comes back. The more minds on this would be, the better for me. Not as like a financial vehicle of any sort, but more just what you guys feel is this something that is stable that you think I can actually use for just groceries and whatnot in the future, and just buying goods with in exchange for maybe my products or services, and nothing having to do with making money off of it, just using it as a medium of exchange. And if you guys could expand on that, that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'll jump in here. When it comes to figuring out the work that I do and how can I get things by doing it, like food, because I'm not a farmer, I don't grow my own food. So if I need to get my food from somewhere else, I have to have something that the place with the food wants to have. So I always start with, I come at it from a demand side. The people who have what I want, what are they willing to take for it?
Right.
And if I go to my local grocery store, the one with the big W on it, Bitcoin or any of these other coins don't seem to appear at the checkout terminal as something that they accept.
Right.
So for that reason, as they say on the Shark Tank, I'm out. That's kind of the deal breaker for me. If I could buy my gas with it, if I could buy my groceries with it, if I could pay my mortgage with it, if I could do things like that, then I'm at least interested. But unless and until it doesn't hold much interest for me.
Now, that's the thing that when I've done my research and I've tried to find how applicable that is, online, I guess maybe there's some grocery stores where I could order online. Maybe I could do Amazon gift card to get food or Overstock, and and apparently Dell.
But then what? I mean, to what end?
In general, cryptocurrency.
What do you mean, though, by that?
Well, so what are you other than just trying it for the sake of trying it? What's in it for you? What's the advantage?
I mean, I guess getting outside the Federal Reserve System. Okay. Just to have an alternative.
Okay. I guess.
That's about it, really. Just to protest the dollar.
Well, there are lots of other ways to do that, I guess. You could, I guess, if you want this to be a thing, I would say start making something of value and only accept the currency that you want to flourish.
Right. Yes. And here's the thing with the Federal Reserve and other nations' banking systems. There is at least a verifiable agency behind it that says they back it. We used to be on the gold standard. Now we're on the just trust us standard.
The faith of the federal government.
Right. But cryptocurrency is also on the just trust us standard.
True.
So the question becomes, who do you trust?
Yeah, that was a huge thing with me. I have a friend who's involved in this, and the first thing I said to her was, and I'm sort of, not to get political at all, but I'm not big on regulation at all, but when it comes to this, it's like, maybe this should be.
Right. Now, hold on. We got to take a quick break, but we'll be back in just a couple of minutes with Dave Enright, Dennis Worster, Tim from Webster, me, Nick Francesco, and you. It's 19 minutes after the hour. It's Sound Bytes. It's member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at soundbites.org. More with Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
I never get the flu.
My kids don't need more shots.
I don't have time.
We're all healthy.
No matter how you build your excuses, the flu can blow your house down.
I can't believe I used up all my sick time.
I missed a week of school during finals.
Now my baby has it because of me.
The hospital?
Keep your foundation strong. Vaccinate.
I never get the flu.
My kids don't need more shots.
I don't have time.
We're all healthy.
No matter how you build your excuses, the flu can blow your house down.
I can't believe I used up all my sick time.
I missed a week of school during finals.
Now my baby has it because of me.
The hospital?
Keep your foundation strong. Vaccinate.
When it comes to saving money, don't act like a baby.
Goo goo gaga.
Be the boss and make a budget.
I'm the boss, baby.
You're the boss of me.
I am the boss of you.
Are not.
M2.
Are not.
M2.
Need a little help?
Aren't you going to do any work?
I'm very busy delegating.
Create a personalized savings plan.
We could share.
You obviously didn't go to business school.
And get other tools and tips at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
Debt. If you get in too deep, members of the NFCC, the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, can help you put debt in its place.
Credit cards took charge of my financial life. A certified credit counselor helped me get back in control.
Student loan debt followed me wherever I went. NFCC taught me all I needed to know.
Connect with an NFCC certified credit counselor at your local member agency today. We'll help you put debt in its place. Go to nfcc.org/stopdebt or call 877-410-6322.
Hey, at our startup, my team and I move at the speed of tech 24/7. Bottom line, I just want the news that matters. So I turn to my local radio and TV stations. I want to hear from people who live and work in my town, people I know and trust. For the best entertainment, sports, news, weather, and traffic, anytime, anywhere, I stay local. Support your local stations. Text radio to 52886. Furnished by the NAB and this station. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
What's small, pretty, and worth lots of money? It's the Jazz 90.1 Enhanced Member Card, and now it's worth more than ever with the addition of 35 wineries to the list of restaurants, stores, and other businesses in the Rochester area, discounting prices exclusively to members of Jazz 90.1. You can even use your card when you travel in the U.S. It's a great way to reward yourself, all while supporting Jazz 90.1. Don't have a Jazz 90.1 member card? Well, get one by making a pledge of support at the $90 10-cent level or above to Jazz 90.1. For more information on becoming a member, call 966-5299 or pledge online at jazz901.org.
Cloudy as we head through this Saturday with a breeze out of the north and northeast. Could see a sprinkle or a spot of drizzle lakeside. Temperatures will hold in the upper 30s and low 40s much of the day. As we head into tonight, some rain will develop into the overnight. The winds will start to pick up out of the southeast. Temperatures early on in the evening will be into the 30s, but then they'll rise, so much so that by Sunday they're back into the 50s. We'll find rain, gusty winds, some breaks of sun, some of those wind gusts up around 50 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And currently we still have overcast skies, 38 degrees out at the airport, and 39 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Hi, this is Jeff Harris. Join me every Sunday night from 5 to 7 on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Dennis Worster.
And at 24 minutes after the hour, we are Soundbites, and we still have Tim from Webster on the line. Still there, Tim? Tim? We do not have Tim. All right, Tim. But let's talk a little bit more about the cryptocurrencies.
And day-to-day use.
Right, and let's talk about regulation, because Tim touched on that just before the break. Regulation is important. You may not like the federal government, but the federal government does, to a certain extent, back what you've got in. You know, if you're in an FDIC, sure. Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation bank, your money is guaranteed up to a certain amount. Now, certainly, come the apocalypse, that's not going to happen. But come the apocalypse, you're not going to be able to get your cryptocurrency either. So let's just set that extreme argument aside. Nothing angers me more than people who have to go to the extremes in order to make that point. That always tells me your point's not very good.
Yeah.
If that's where you got to go to get it.
All right, so where were we?
So we're talking about regulation.
Okay.
And nobody regulates cryptocurrency. And let's talk about the very first cryptocurrency from a company called Mt. Gox, which was a game company.
Right.
And they started cryptocurrency. People put millions and millions and millions of dollars into Mt. Gox, and then suddenly one day it was gone. Gone. Now, if it was FDIC approved or backed or whatever, people would have gotten some of their money back.
Right.
That did not happen with Mt. Gox. All of that money was gone.
Very
Done. Finished.
Speculative, yeah.
And the same has happened over and over again. Google cryptocurrency stolen or robbed or whatever, and you're going to find dozens and dozens of examples of that. Because there is no regulation, and because who is the person starting this thing? I can start a cryptocurrency. I don't know doodly squat about that kind of security. I teach security courses. I still don't know enough to say I can guarantee you your money's not going anywhere. You know, who do you trust is what it comes down to.
You just got to start selling mattresses, and people can shove their money in there.
People can shove their money in the mattresses, and then they can buy them on President's Day.
That's right.
It's an issue that we have not solved. And we've talked about people wanting to do micropayments. Which would have theoretically been backed by the government or somebody.
Okay.
So that they went through and they were guaranteed to go through. You do something like PayPal, and there's and that has who's behind? Amazon's behind that. I'm pretty sure Amazon's behind everything that Google isn't.
I thought they were associated with eBay.
Oh, eBay. You're right. No, you're right. It's eBay.
Okay.
But they have a background which checks to make sure that people actually have that kind of money and that they can use that kind of money. And oh, by the way, that money can be taken out of a regular account or sent to a regular account as well. Whereas you cannot do that with cryptocurrency. I can't say I've got 4 Doge coins and I'm going to put that 1,700 imaginary dollars into my bank account. You can't do it. No bank is going to take Doge coins or Litecoin or Bitcoin or any one of the variations of cryptocurrency, or a Kodak money, whatever they're calling it, Kodak coin with a K. I forgot. Yeah. And so while the idea of cryptocurrency is a good one, and I suspect that in the long run we will see something very like it taking over, that time is not now, because there's no authority behind it. And that's
and right now it's just a commodity.
And it's
primarily
it's essentially a penny stock.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, if it makes money and you get that money, good for you.
Right.
If it doesn't make money, oh well. If it makes money, you don't get that money, oh well.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't have a lot of recourse.
Right. I've been involved in a number of Kickstarters, mostly. I say involved. I've been mostly an investor in those Kickstarters, not making something. And people seem to think it's a store.
Oh, yeah.
You see a thing on Kickstarter, you pay for it, and you get it. That's not what you're doing.
No, it's more like an IPO.
It's an IPO. You are investing in the company, and in thanks, if they fly, they will send you one of those things. But it's not a marketplace as such, and people don't understand that. Similarly, they don't understand what cryptocurrency is. They think it's a bank, and it is not. It's a speculation.
Right.
It's essentially it's a flyer into a fairly dubious stock. You know, instead of putting your money in cryptocurrency, I would be happy to come to your house and sell you shares in a uranium mine.
Okay.
Which I actually have, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, my father got caught many years ago.
Okay.
I mean, there's like 5 or 10 shares in a bank vault somewhere. On a uranium mine that, believe me, doesn't exist. Or it's like what General Mills did back in the 50s. Yes, I'm old. You could send in X number of box tops and a dime, and you got the deed to 1 square foot of the Yukon.
Okay.
From Sergeant Preston of the Yukon.
Of the Yukon, yeah.
Right? Great show. I loved that show. And I sent in my box tops and my dime, and I got a certificate that gave me 1 square foot of the Yukon. And I actually taped out a square foot in my bedroom so I'd see exactly how much of the Yukon I owned. It was great.
Almost enough to stand in.
Yeah, here's the problem with that. They sold everybody who sent in a dime the same square foot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. They actually owned that square foot, but it's the producers.
Okay.
Essentially.
Yeah. It was worth more if they failed.
Everybody bought 100% of the same square foot.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And so, it was meant to be a gimmick and blah, 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 but somebody caught wind of it and sued General Mills, and they had to spend a decent amount of change, more than a dime, to fix that. And the same thing, I think, we find that cryptocurrency is a flyer. It's a bet. You're putting your money on 00. If you win big. And if you lose, hey, you lost.
Yeah. Yep.
Nobody guarantees the roulette wheel.
And if other people have ideas or thoughts about this, be sure to call in and tell us.
Yeah, give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299, toll free, 1-800-790-0415. If you own a cryptocurrency and you're happy with it, let us know.
Right. And tell us what you do with it other than speculate. I mean, are you spending any? Are you making some? How are you deriving or spending this currency? We want to hear about it.
Yeah, right. Somebody was saying the other day, if you would put, for one of the Kickstarters I'm on, if you would put the $99 into one of the cryptocurrencies, you'd have like $7,000 today.
Okay.
Well, yes, until next week when it crashed. And you would have lost your $99.
Right. Well, it's like any investment. It's only worth that if you sell it.
And right. And who are you going to sell it to? Nobody's buying cryptocurrency. I mean, big amounts of cryptocurrency.
Right.
Nobody's buying those. And the people who are mining cryptocurrency, you think, well, this is pretty cool.
Right.
Because I just set up an old computer and let it crank away. Well, they've already figured out that if you did that 7 years ago, you made decent amount of money.
Right.
Now you spend more in electricity than you make in the cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Mining cryptocurrency is now a losing proposition.
Yes. Even for you people on Fairport Electric, you can't quite
you don't make money.
Do it. Yes.
Right.
I think what we're seeing also is that a lot of places overseas have I'm hearing stories about places in China that have set up server farms that are doing this, and your goal is to try and compete with them in your bedroom with half a dozen GPUs, and you're going to try and compete with them.
Right.
Just seems like a losing proposition.
Going back to the topic you were just talking about, though, and nothing is guaranteed, and you're going to lose on something.
Yep.
I had an interesting discussion, I'll put it,
okay,
with an individual on their computer. And the hard drive was crashing.
Okay.
And they go, well, how much are you going to charge me to get it back? And I says, well, it depends on how long you go. They go, well, if you don't get anything back, then I don't have to pay you, right?
You're confusing effort with results.
I go, run that by me again? Well, if you go ahead and try to get, I give you the hard drive and you go ahead and get, and you can't get anything, since I don't get anything, any data, then I don't have to pay, right? I go, no, it doesn't quite work that way. Well, why? I'm not getting any, I'm not getting, if you can't guarantee I'm going to get my data. I says, right. But you're going to give it to me to at least try. And I don't work for free. Do you work for free?
This is why backups are so cheap.
No. And that's one point I pointed out to him. I says, then where's your backups? Well, I never quite got around to it. I says, well, then evidently you don't listen to sound bites that much.
Yep.
I says, but to answer your question, no. I don't work for free. If you want to give it to me, I says, I have a diagnostic fee that, I'll try, and the worst you're going to be is out that much. Well, I don't know if I want to spend even that much. I said, well, then you know what?
Okay.
You know my phone number? Give me a call. If you can find anybody else that's willing to do it for free, have at it.
God bless you.
Yeah,
exactly right.
You got to figure out what's your data worth to you.
Right. Getting back to cryptocurrency, Iceland is now the place to mine cryptocurrency.
Oh, geothermal electricity, right?
Well, it's geothermal electricity, but there's only 34,000 people on the entire island.
Okay.
And their electricity has tripled.
Oh.
Because of the people who are mining cryptocurrency.
Oh, really?
And even in Iceland, where they have geothermal and yada yada, and it's super cheap, they're finding it's no longer financially feasible to mine cryptocurrency.
Right.
So if you're, I know there are a bunch of students at RIT who have set up 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 machines to do this.
Mm-hmm.
They're not paying for their electricity. RIT is.
Well, yeah, indirectly.
Right. So yeah, right. So
no,
until
it's more like they get electricity at no additional charge on top of their tuition, much like your bandwidth. It's
I didn't hear any of that, Dave. Lyndon?
Okay.
Oh, Lyndon. Our next caller is Lyndon from Henrietta. Hi, Lyndon. What's up?
Hey, the caller who had the old G5 iMac and wanted to make it into a monitor.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a program called Screen Recycler.
Okay.
That allows you to share old displays like that on a new Mac. So if he had another Mac, he could then run the software on both ends and use the old Mac as an extension to the new one.
Wow, that's very, very interesting.
Very
I have to learn
cool
about that one.
That's been around since since the G3 4s and so on, because I used to run it.
Nice,
Okay.
excellent.
I've heard about tools you can use on your iPad to extend your screen onto an iPad, but I didn't know about this other one.
Yeah, and the other thing is I have a vintage MacBook Pro.
Okay.
And the battery died on it, so I bought a third-party one.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Worst thing I've ever done, because as soon as I put it on in there, the machine became dog slow. It's spending all the time in the kernel, all CPU cycles.
Huh.
And you think that's because you replaced the battery?
Well, I bought a OEM version, and it works fine now.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, I know that the legitimate batteries, you have the ability to query them to know how many battery cycles, charges and discharges you've been through, and I wonder if the non-native battery wasn't able to report that effectively and was constantly being queried.
That's a good point. That's a very good thought.
Maybe. All right, good.
That's a good thought.
information.
Thanks, Lyndon.
Sure.
Wow.
Very nice. Now, I will say that there is one nation that is planning its own cryptocurrency, which would then, of course, be backed by the nation.
Okay.
And that's Sweden.
All right.
They're contemplating, I don't think they've come out with it yet, but they're talking about the e-krona.
Okay.
The krona is the Swedish
currency. Yeah.
And they're talking about the e-krona. So we may start to see currency become a real thing.
Right.
And people may speculate on e-krona. But now that becomes just like speculating on the franc. Well, back when there was a franc, speculating on the euro or whatever.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could have a bank account overseas and have a credit card or a debit card that draws on that, and it's stored in euro. But I mean, I guess you got to figure out where you want to be. How far out on that ledge do you want to go?
Exactly. I will admit, I speculated once myself.
Okay.
Back in the 70s when I lived in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this when we come back. We're going to take a quick break. Back in just a couple of minutes with Dave Enright, Dennis Worcester, me, Nick Francesco, and you. It is 39 minutes after the hour. It is Soundbites. It is member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Before you call into our show, please make note of the following rules. 1, turn your radio down. 2, turn your radio down lower. 3, remember, nobody has invented a good-sounding speakerphone yet. Don't use them. 4, make sure you have a point. It makes for a more interesting show. 5, calling does not guarantee you'll get on the air. No whining. 6, if you do get on the air, please do not tell the host what you just told the screener. We don't care. And 7, is that radio turned down yet? We hope this will make for a more enjoyable program, and we thank you for your time.
It's America's longest-running computer show. Back to more sound bites with Nick, Dave, and Steve. Next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
What is us?
Us is a foundation.
Us is the future.
Us is a bond. But right now, that bond is frayed.
And we need a place that could make it whole.
From diabetes prevention to safety around water.
The why fills the gaps.
And bridges our divides.
But they can't do it without us. Because where there's a why, there's an us.
Read by members of the Y.
180 over 111, and I had a stroke.
145 over 92, and then I had a heart attack.
150 over 90, and I had a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure sounds like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from silent. Get back on your treatment plan or talk with your doctor to create a plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Everything's changed.
Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Medical Association, and the Ad Council.
For far too long, animals on farms and ranches were not afforded protections to ensure their humane treatment and care. Luckily, times have changed, and more farmers are raising their animals in accordance with American Humane science-based standards, which offer ethically driven consumers humanely raised products. The next time you're in the grocery store, be sure to choose foods that are American Humane certified. To learn more, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
There's no better way to test drive a restaurant than to take them up on a dining incentive. And Jazz 90.1 has dozens of them for you to try. Test drive a new taste with the Jazz 90.1 Enhanced Member Card for your pledge of $90.10 or more to Jazz 90.1. It's good for the duration of your membership. Get the Enhanced Jazz 90.1 Member Card by calling 966-5299 or online at jazz901.org.
If you want to support Jazz 90.1 a lot, but your budget says only a little will work, there is a way. It's called the Jazz 90.1 Jazz-O-Matic membership. You can support Jazz 90.1 with a monthly gift of $10 or more, while enjoying the many great thank you gifts that we offer. Jazz 90.1 will deduct that amount automatically every month, and should your circumstances change, you can cancel at any time. Support Jazz 90.1 the way you want to, without bruising your budget. Jazz-O-Matically. For more information on becoming Jazz-O-Matic, call 966-5299 or pledge online at jazz901.org.
Here's the latest Jazz 90.1 weather forecast.
Cloudy as we head through this Saturday with a breeze out of the north and northeast. Could see a sprinkle or a spot of drizzle lakeside. Temperatures will hold in the upper 30s and low 40s much of the day. As we head into tonight, some rain will develop into the overnight. The winds will start to pick up out of the southeast. Temperatures early on in the evening will be into the 30s, but then they'll rise. So much so that by Sunday, they're back into the 50s. We'll find rain, gusty winds, some breaks of sun, some of those wind gusts up around 50 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And we're still holding at 38 degrees and cloudy skies out at the airport and 39 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
This is Hal Johnson. Join me on Wednesdays from 6 to 8 on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Dennis Worster.
And at 44 minutes after the hour, before we get back to the phones, I will finish my little story about my speculation.
Yeah.
I was in New York City, living in New York City and acting. I was an actor. And they doubled the price of a subway token.
Okay.
From, this is how old I am, 25 cents to 50 cents.
Okay.
And
there's not a lot of things in life that double in price.
Well, right.
Overnight.
Right. And so what we did was we gambled that they would not change the token.
Ah, okay.
So we pooled our money and bought lots of tokens.
I see the whole caper movie playing in my mind right now.
Exactly right. And we won. They did not change the token. So overnight, we doubled our money.
Right.
But we could as easily have lost our money.
Yeah.
And then we knew that going in.
Right. So did you keep all these tokens for yourself, or did you find people to sell them to?
Well, I sold a lot of them to other people for 45 cents.
Okay.
They saved a nickel. I made 25. I made 20 cents.
Okay.
Everybody won.
Right.
And then we used a lot of them ourselves.
Sure.
Because now our trips
your dollars
were
got stretched.
25 cents. Exactly right. But we made money. We doubled our money. We won. But it was a speculation. And had I lost, there's nobody I can go to and say, I lost my money. Can I get it back?
Right. Right. It's like investing in forever stamps.
Exactly. All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Walter from Greece, New York. Hi, Walter. What's up?
Well, Nick, you just took the wind out of my sails because I was going to suggest the exact same thing that I did.
What's that?
I did in Buffalo. They had bus tokens, and they had a price increase, so I just bought them and sold them out to other people and made a tidy little profit myself.
There you go. And you see, that works. But had you lost the money, had they changed the token, you got nobody to complain to.
Right.
Well, no, here's the issue, though. It was a known service that I could come up with. They didn't care. If they changed the token, that's fine, but I could still use the ones that I had in my pocket on the bus.
Nice.
Oh, they were grandfathering in the old tokens.
They would. That's nice. Trust me, the New York subway system would not have done that.
Well, then the other thing they would have had is they should have done is allowed people to then exchange them face value for whatever, or 2 for 1 or whatever the difference would be. But that would be the correct thing to do because people would be caught in having dead currency.
Yeah,
right.
The bottom of their pocket.
Right. Well, and you're right, and that's why we gambled that they would not change the token.
Right.
Well, here's the other thing, though. If the person really wants to, remember, you're talking the same time. I think it was the 80s, where the big term was arbitrage.
Uh-huh.
You would go ahead and you would speculate that I bought the Canadian dollar, which was worth, say, 60 cents.
Right.
And then the Canadian dollar would eventually rise up to about $1. You made some big money then, in conversion over.
Right.
So and it's still legitimate out there. If he wants to sit there and sit at a computer and wait and see just what happens with the Canadian dollar, the euro, any other currency out there, and then change it when it jumps up a penny or two, he can make some big money, but he's going to have to start out with big money in his pocket.
Right. You start out with big money, and you better be at that computer the instant that the price goes up because it's not going to stay up for long.
Right, and that's basically what happens there, that he's looking at the Bitcoin. Because, as you said, you don't know when somebody's going to go ahead and say, I'm going to dump my Bitcoins that I bought, I'll take a loss, and suddenly you're going to have the big loss.
Right, or more importantly, somebody steals all the Bitcoins, and now you got nothing.
Exactly right.
Yep.
So I mean, there are legitimate ways if you want to go and do it for speculation. But the whole idea is you've got to be able to take what you have and get a service or get a goods that somebody's agreeable to.
Right.
And they were agreeable. The bus company, Subway, were agreeable to a token will give you a ride.
Yep.
And that's the name of the game.
Right. And that's that's money in general, right? I'll pretend that the service I'm about to offer you is worth the pieces of paper you're putting on the table.
Yeah.
Right.
The currency is just a storage medium for the work that you've done,
right.
The value you've provided.
Right. It's an equivalency. That's all there is, an agreed upon equivalency. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Walter.
Welcome.
We appreciate that. And it's true. And the problem becomes, the pretending that we do with cash or credit cards is actually backed up by a real institution.
Right.
A bank.
That's right.
Right? The cryptocurrency is backed up by unicorns and leprechauns.
It's all one big story.
Yeah.
And no matter how much math you do.
Right. And so if it doesn't work out, it didn't work out. And that's fine because speculation is a legitimate way to spend your money.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that, but you have to understand it's speculation.
That's right. There are risks.
Right. All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Ken from Rochester, New York. What's up, Ken?
Hey, how you doing today?
Peachy, how are you?
Good, thanks. I got a question. I got a Chromebook. I don't call you. I don't listen to your show because I got to work on Thursday. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The question I got is, first one, caller said something about browser. Where is it on your machine?
The browser is the thing that lets you get to the internet. So on your Chromebook, that's Google Chrome. And generally speaking, when you turn on your Chromebook, that's that big window that's in the middle of the screen.
Oh, okay. No, I heard browser. I didn't know where it was. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. If you've never heard the term, you can't be expected to know what it means.
You called the right place.
I wasn't trying to be rude on that.
No, you're not at all.
Not a problem.
Learning is good.
Yeah. Another question is, I got a Chromebook, And if you're trying to put it on a copying machine, and it's my brother's, how can you get in it? Because we tried different numbers on Chromebook to get on the copying machine. It won't go through.
So you mean to do printing?
To print, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. It depends. This is a longer deal. Here's the thing. There are two ways that you can connect to a printing device, whether it's a copier, printer, or whatever.
Okay.
One is called Google Cloud Print, and the other is called a print server.
Okay.
Now, if your copier is new enough, it may have a Google Cloud Print server built in.
Okay.
And that you'd have to read the manual to find out if it does. And then that'll tell you everything, exactly how to turn it on, how to set it up, how to connect to it, everything.
Now, do you have to get a Chromebook that would have a copying machine on it, or same computer? Like
No. That thing I'm talking about, the Google Print server, the Google Cloud Print, is on the copier itself and will connect to any Chromebook.
Okay.
Now, the other way you do it is if that particular copier will accept print from any device, which makes it a print server.
Okay.
Hold on. To network printer. Is the copier on your network so you can print to it from another computer?
Yeah, it says printer right on it, and now this copying machine is HP.
Okay.
Now we tried to do it. My brother and I tried to do it, and it would not go through at all.
Right.
We hit printer and see if it went through. It would not go through at all.
Okay, how new is your Chromebook?
Mine's a couple years old.
Okay.
It's not that old.
Well, it's older than it needs to be for this. There's an easy solution called HP Print for Chrome app, but then you have to be able to use Chrome apps. And in fact, you should be able to download that from the web store. You know that your Chromebook has something called the web store.
Okay.
If you go into there in the lower left corner, there's that little circle. And
okay.
If you click on it, you see a few applications.
Okay.
And if you use the up arrow that's at the bottom there,
yep.
You can see a lot more applications. If you search through all those applications, you'll find one called Web Store.
Okay.
And if you open up the Web Store and do a search for HP Print for Chrome, you can install that, and that will let you connect to an HP device over your network.
Okay.
So download that, read the instructions, and it should tell you how to do all the pieces and parts. And there's a little link to the actual documentation from HP themselves on how to do that.
Okay.
And then you'll be able to type Control P, and it'll come up as one of your printers. And of course, if it's your only printer, it'll come up as your only printer. And
right.
And then you can print to it, and you're on your way.
Right, because we had, like I said, we had trouble doing it, and we could not get on it at all.
Right. Well, this should help, and it should make it easy to do.
Okay. If I have any questions, if I
you know
have
where we
another
are.
day off, I'll give you a call and see if you can help me again.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Well, that music tells me that we are done for another week. I have to say, this week went fast.
Oh, I think so too.
I think so too. Well, time flies when you're having fun.
That's
and
right.
This wasn't fun, but the time flew, and that's the important part right there. I definitely want to thank Dave Enright, but I particularly want to thank Dennis Worster.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
Who was kind enough to come in, as Steve is one step ahead of the law somewhere in the Southwest. And we always love having Dennis here. And we will be back next week with Soundbites. Don't go away. George is here. But we'll be back with a whole lot more Soundbites in just 166 hours. Until then, try to be kind to each other, will you?
Did you know that excessive speed is a leading cause of snowmobile crashes? Sure, a burst of speed can be thrilling, but don't put yourself in danger. Keep your speed reasonable for the conditions. Keep control at all times and be ready to react. At night, slow down even more to avoid overdriving your headlights. It's simple. Slow down and come back alive. Brought to you by the American Council of Snowmobile Associations and the U.S. Department of Transportation Federal Highway Administration.
Visit snowmobileinfo.org.
If you're concerned about crime in your community, your local police and mayor's office need to hear from you. Studies show when vandals see a broken window isn't repaired, they'll break more windows. When they see graffiti, they'll add more graffiti. When minor crimes are allowed to continue, serious crimes won't be far behind. It's never too late to turn a neighborhood around. Be the one to take that first step. Brought to you by the National Police Association. To learn more, go to www.nationalpolice.org.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14, 41, 31, 13. We took a left on Carroll Street.
Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. I realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Are you in the mood for a new clothing item from the Jazz 90.1 online store? Jazz 90.1 is currently stocked with short and long sleeve t-shirts, polos, sweatshirts, sweatpants, and more. Visit the Jazz 90.1 online store and see all the great items available so you can tell the world, tastefully, that you are a proud Jazz 90.1 listener. Visit the Jazz 90.1 online store today at jazz901.org.
Everybody buckle up. Buckle up.
Let's go.
Buckle up.
Can we go to the store?
Buckle up.
Ice cream.
Everybody buckle up.
A lot goes on in the car, but you're in control. So only move when you hear the click that says they're buckled in. Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The success of any business depends on its ability to offer value. A great quality product or service for the right price. Businesses themselves need to get value for the things they need as well. As an underwriter of Jazz 90.1, you can get the word out about your business, what you do, where you are, and how to reach you. Underwriting messages are straightforward, simple, and easy to remember. Underwriting at Jazz 90.1 is a great way to promote your business while supporting public jazz radio. For more information, call the Jazz 90.1 business office at 966-2660 today.
WGMC Greece Rochester, a public service of the Greece Central School District, Jazz 90.1.
On Instagram at WGMC Jazz 901.
An investigation is underway into why a school resource deputy and several other police officers were outside during the massacre in Parkland, Florida that left 17 dead. Correspondent Kaylee Hartung.
They were surprised when they arrived on the scene to find 3 other Broward County deputies behind their patrol cars with their weapons drawn. That means 4 men with the opportunity to go in that building failed to do so.
United and Delta